Live, Season 2, Episode 74. Action. Well, that over there. Oh. How's it going, YouTube? DMTombstone Belts back here again with a brand new episode of DMTombstone Live for you guys. And just got to check one thing, 1 second. Got to make sure, everything going fine with my channel. Make sure we get all the audio. Let's see. Check. Yep, we are good. We are indeed good. So you guys know when I do DM Tombstone Live, it's unsanctioned, uncensored. Anything that happens, to try to keep it family friendly as possible. And yeah. Anyway, and if you're new to my channel, and if you like what I do, make sure to hit that like button because I'll be keeping track of it right there. I see the like icon, but you guys probably don't. And if you're new to my channel, what I'm all about, especially with the bad boys there, and all that, check out my main channel of over around 700 some videos. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I did reach 900, but apparently we lost a couple of them, so let's try to get that 900 back, guys. I need your guys' help. Let's try to get me back. I need 2 more now to reach 900, but let's try to get a little more before I start doing the 900 subscriber bell giveaway. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Oh, look, guys, who we gonna have here on our live stream for the first time, guys? I think we're finally gonna have with none other than Pez. Hey, Pez. Wow, first time.
First time.
We got this, right? Yeah. Well, happy to have you here on my live stream, man. I think it's the first time we ever got to see this do face to face because I'm pretty sure you said before we had to have a certain subscriber count. But guys, this is the first person yet, and again on the live stream. We had Brother Kane, we had Stephen Hammer, we had Dex, we even had Jonathan Michael on here many times. But I say nothing beats like this guy here, Pez, who's got an excellent belt collection. Go check out his channel. In fact, he even has one of my homemade light heavyweight titles, which I'm saying, man, it's a great pleasure and honor to finally see
and there it is.
This guy here. Yep, that very beautiful belt I made of his. And it's right next to, what is that, a phenomenal AJ Styles belt. Yeah.
And can you make that out?
I think that's one of those homemade spinner belt that you gotten from.
Well, it's all metal.
Custom spinner belt.
Yeah,
I mean, like a custom. I think it's that custom spinner belt. But yeah. We didn't get you the other day, but yeah, I was just talking on the last live stream, obviously about I had to wait for my package to come in the mail, and I gotta say, UPS kind of sucks if you're gonna get stuff overseas. And I was telling
people, did you see the comment I left you?
Yeah, I know. As I say, I don't get me wrong, I agree with what our country's got to do because after all, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump was trying to get us off that whole made from a different country type of stuff. We want to bring stuff back to America where you could get American bought stuff and ship through. And two, it's just to add another FU to the people that are sending stuff out of country. I think it's just that he does it on purpose so we stop buying stuff overseas. That's just me. But again, like I tell people, if you do buy stuff overseas, make sure if there's the option for DHL, go for that. Tell them don't try to do UPS to avoid those fees because many times if they don't send you the tracking information beforehand, say like they ship it out like a week ago and it's coming in the next day and they don't give you the shipping information, next thing you know you realize, oh, you have to pay the fee. That's when you stop working with those guys right away because that's just a pain in the ass to deal with every single time. But that's why I got nothing wrong against UPS if it's inside my country. If it's within the US, it's no problem. What do we got here? Yajanket. What the hell? That's the first time I heard that one. And odd name. Heather Brown, 3237. Hey, Heather Brown. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Make sure you hit those like buttons and make sure you also subscribe to me and, of course, my buddy Pez here. And speaking of SmackDown on Friday night, we've seen a brand new version of the U.S. title. And oh my God. I don't know what to say. Other than the fact that finally we're seeing blue added to where the stars are on the main plate. But the fur on the thing.
So that's true then. I actually saw some kind of image online saying it was a furry USA title now.
Well, it's basically it looks like a title for furries, as one guy said on Hazard F5's channel. He said that. But the worst part is when you see it's on WWE Shop right now. I hear they're selling it for $700. What is the fur made out of? A Yeti? Because for something to be $700 when it's just a fake, it's basically the fur you get off a fur coat and you put it onto a leather strap. It's not even real leather, I don't think. And other than custom plates and that on it, it's not much of a different than any other belt.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but even if say it was real fur, which we know it's not, but just say it was, right? How are you going to keep that clean? It's going to get dirty after a while.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta clean the plates off. That's easy, but try to clean that fur because it's white. The worst case of anyone is a white color anything. It's a pain in the ass to keep that clean and to keep that white shining bright. That's why I hate when people like for me, I don't want to wear white clothes. I don't want to wear white shoes. Hell, I don't even want to have a white car because you know how bad that could get dirty if you're driving around in the countryside. That thing's gonna be kicked up with dirt. It's gonna look like you're driving a big pile of bird shit.
Well, when it comes to cars, I've actually had a white car. They're very hard to keep clean. White and black are the hardest to keep clean.
Well, for car wise, but
yeah.
If it's like anything else, like clothes, it's a whole different story. Other than for white, yeah, I'm pretty sure you just got to use the bleach all the time. But once the color fades, I don't think even the most powerful bleach will stop that. Surprise! I love WWE. I'm from Nepal. Oh, shout out to the people from Nepal. But yeah, that whole strap.
That's across the globe, Nepal.
And I'm saying, and as well, I looked at WWE Shop. The snap box on the strap, it's stitched on. I thought WWE got rid of the whole stitch on snap box thing after they released the new belts. But it looks like they brought it back because I think that's hard to do when you got basically an abominable snowman's ass hair for the strap. Maybe and too Velcro wouldn't have done good as well because imagine all that fur you got to pick off the Velcro so the Velcro could stick. And I want to imagine someone trying to do that make it more TV accurate to get rid of the fake like leather strap and try to do it with a real leather strap. Oh my God. But
well, imagine if you actually had to get that re-leathered too. How would you get that re-leathered if it's got the fur with it?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely. If you're trying to get it re-leathered, like I got my United States re-leathered, but I'm not gonna do the full on and try to get a send down strap as the Trick Williams version. But I'm saying, and plus two, the worst thing as well, it's white. Last time I checked, white was a color that's only reserved for the females. So imagine if Tiffany Stratton and Trick Williams mix up their belts. People won't know the difference. Other than the fact that one of them just says women's on the damn thing. I love your videos. Well, thank you. You jank it.
So, what I'm reading his comments.
Yeah. You say he loves
So,
OT.
fan,
He's a
yeah, I was
fan
gonna
of
say he's
Roman
a
Reigns.
fan of Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns.
Well, yeah, Roman Reigns is okay. Other than the fact that I'm not a big fan of him only being part time, but I can see why he's doing that for certain things. Because they hard to be part time. I mean, hard to be full time after all the instances with him having leukemia, and because that could come and go anytime. It's not a full on cure.
He's
As
still in
he had
remission,
it
right?
like, well, I think now he's remission. That was like years ago, and I think it was one time he had to be away after losing the title because they thought he had it back again. Problem is, he's taking the oral medication, as you've heard from the A&E documentary about him. When he was in, I think it was their college or high school, he was diagnosed with it, and around that time, it was either going to be chemo, radiation, and all that treatment. But then they actually came out with the new oral treatments that actually would somewhat work without him going through the whole radiation thing. Only problem was it's not a full 100% on him because we see it came back after 11 years, which would made him have to relinquish the red universal title. Which I gotta say, unless Roman wants to take a whole year off, I'd say go for the treatment, like the radiation treatment, so to make sure it's 100% gone. But then again, that's the thing about leukemia, cancer of the blood. It's part of his livelihood. It's gonna always come back. It's not like a tumor you can remove and then next you know he can be free from it for years. It's built in his DNA and system. It's basically what cancer is. It's a mutation of the genetic material. And you can try to clear that part out. Eventually, there's still a little speck of it left that can regrow. And next, that's how they end up. That's what happened with my uncle. God rest his soul. He thought he was in remission with cancer, but it came back, and that's what killed him in the end. That's why I said for Roman, it's going to be a lifetime fight for him. He could be in remission all the time, but it'll always eventually come back. Hopefully, he always catches it before it's too late to catch it early. Because if he didn't catch it in time and he gets to a stronger stage to the point the oral medication won't do, eventually it's going to snuff him in the
Well,
end.
I'm sure he goes through testing every so often just to make sure and keep it under control.
Yeah. And again, and as well, your thoughts of Baron Corbin returning. We haven't seen Baron Corbin in the WWE for over a year, and now he's back. And looks like they're going to have him hunting down for the U.S. title. They finally bring out this, but the thing is, with this new Signature Series belt, I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I mean, it took a little while, even with LA Knight's belt. Even though that didn't change much, all it did was the strap that says LA all over the damn thing. Maybe there's a chance and hope that actually, when they bring the original version of the U.S. title, that the gold where the stars are actually painted in blue, like this one that Trick Williams showed. And it'll look a lot better. Like I can see them bringing this back, but painting the stars blue, or no, the background where the stars are blue. And I can say that can make the belt pop a lot better on TV. I mean, especially like the new IC belt when it came out with the black globes, but then when they painted them in blue, it made the belt pop more. I can see them doing that with the US title, making that pop, and next thing you know, all the belts are gonna look beautiful. But if we know if they do it for the men, they're gonna have to do it for the women too. Because I can see it like for the women's US title, that will get an update as well.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out though, why they brought him back though, Baron Corbin. I mean, I remember when he was there the first time. I'm not saying he doesn't have any skill. It's just as far as like charisma, it just seemed it was lacking at that time. Maybe it's different now. I haven't seen SmackDown, but I did see some kind of headline saying that he was back. But
Well,
I would
because I've
question
read it
like,
as well about that. Yeah, because if I say there's a channel on YouTube called WrestleLamia, they too talk about why they brought Corbin back. There's a reason why about that, and I can kind of see what they're coming up with. Like he's not got that. He's not in his prime no more. They maybe do it for a little bit to have the people feel for him because people they want to try to bring him back into like make people say, "Oh, he's back!" Like you make him as a face, have him
well,
hunt for something.
Ian, think of it this way. I mean, would you have brought Corbin back, or would you have, say, kept certain WWE superstars instead of getting rid of them? Like, I would have, honestly, I'd have kept New Day over bringing Baron Corbin back, but that's just me.
I mean, I would agree with that too. I would have kept New Day, but then again, it's because you can't. It's all about what TKO sees. They want to see new talent and all that stuff. I get that, but then again, you need the old talent to train the new talent to keep them up at the speed to know how they run things. Like that, someone that just started doing wrestling over a year ago now going to wrestle a veteran who's been doing it for over a decade. You want to keep him so he could break in the new guy so he could get used to doing stuff like this. Because then that's how you're going to get more people injured. And two, not a lot of people are going to vie for him because he's hit. It's just new talent versus new talent. When you see someone like face a veteran, someone that people looked up to for years to come, I can see why people could cheer for them. Then, when you had Roman, I wrote for Undertaker the whole time, and I still will. But then I started to see how they make Roman become like a bigger character to face these veterans like Brock and Undertaker and all the legends, including Rey Mysterio. Like I can see why they do that. But when TKO is starting to get rid of the veterans and just have new talent, it's gonna get boring. Like even you need to have some. The only one that's left that's from the olden days is Rey Mysterio. He's the last one of WCW.
From the, well, let's see. I'm trying to think of just older wrestlers now. Randy Orton's still there, right?
Yeah, he's the last one of the OVW group from Brock and Cena and Batista. The last one of the Attitude Era still there is R-Truth. Like literally, there's three different eras still hanging around from the olden days of the Attitude Era. Say from there in the WCW Monday Night Wars is Rey Mysterio. Last one of the say Attitude Era from and the last one of the aggression era with Cena and them is Randy Orton. We're running out. There's only like it's always like one left of each era. There's no more golden era or new generation era still fighting around.
Well, did you see somebody pointed out about CM Punk now? Now is the only one that had the new generation style WWE and World Championship.
Yeah.
Like he had the spinner, now he's got the
Yes.
current.
Well, he was the only one to have the recent older versions of those titles. But it's like I get that. Okay, that's cool. And I think he's the only superstar to hold the Ring of Honor World Title, the ECW World Title, the World Heavyweight Title, both old and new. The WWE Championship, spinner, and the current one. So basically, he's
Chris
the only
Brown
one to
wants to
hold all
know:
those titles.
is that an ECW Tag Team Championship for who? DM or for me?
For me, the ECW tag, yeah, that
There you
there's the
go.
ECW tag, and I got that signed by Devon. Bubba Ray wasn't there, but I got it signed by Devon. Got my ECW TV and the classic ECW World Title. Actually, had to repaint those to make it match up more because when I got them, they were painted to look like the WWE replica versions. Like the globe in the tag title was like I think the replica was brown, I think, but they had it painted in black. I was like, nah, I wanted to paint it like it was a 99, so I painted the globes purple. So I'm making like the originals. And of course, the television title, the logo was painted black. I painted that one purple too. But yeah, I got the collection of the ECW belts, and I just say they're pretty cool. But none of them are kind of TV accurate because I requested barbed wire tooling for all of them, but the ECW World and the tag, I mean, no, the ECW World and TV title are the only ones that don't have the barbed wire tooling. Only the tag does. Because apparently they had their barbed wire tooling, their tool broken or something like that, so they had to stick with the clamshell tooling, which I was like, okay. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they're still pretty damn good looking belts. Even now, like this one, the classic NWA Dome Globe. I never thought I've ever collected a belt like this.
I'm
And
still
with the
surprised you got
lacing in
that.
that, yeah. Well, I say if you're gonna be a true hardcore belt collector, you gotta. There's always say a true belt collector that even from old generations would know. You got there's the top belts to add to the collection. You want to have a big gold. You want to have a winged eagle, and if you know about the NWA, you got to have a 10 pounds of gold. Even though this thing don't feel like 10 pounds, this is like the second lightest belt in my collection. And I do say it does look like a good belt. I mean, for an old school classic, if it wasn't for this belt, we wouldn't have any of the other belts of today. And there, I haven't even done anything to touch this thing up. I don't think it needs to be restoned because I think the stones are, I think they are either Swarovskis or cubics. I'm not sure because I haven't taken them out to find out. But yeah, the only problem I had was the fact that the globe here was a little bit loose, but I kind of tightened it down. But yeah, this thing is just a beautiful belt. And I gotta say, for someone like you that probably because you have a dome globe in your collection, right?
Yeah. I actually have mine right there.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
And is that a
Go ahead, Dean. I'm gonna turn some lights on real quick while you're talking.
uh, okay? Gonna say that is that one like a replica or is that like an unofficial license
Oh,
replica?
it's unofficial. Everything in my room is unofficial. Everything.
Oh, so not like no WWE shop or
No.
any of those like replica belts.
Nope.
Yeah, because that's a majority. I was saying that before I had my collection was like 50% replica and 50% unofficial. But now I think unofficial took over most of the replicas. I have over nearly 60 belts, and I assume like 26 of them they were official replicas that I either got on real leather straps or restoned. But now majority of them are now become unofficial.
Does that look better with the
And I
light
gotta
on, you
say,
think, Dean?
yeah, I would say it definitely looks better with the light on. And I say somehow I think your replica from the camera view looks a little bigger of a plate than mine. Then again, I think mine's supposed to be the version of the original design.
It could
Is
be
that
just the
one
camera
like
too.
a
Sometimes things look bigger on the camera for some strange reason.
yeah? As I say that one has the classic plates, right? Like the Australia, Canada, Mexico, and Japan.
Oh
Or is
yeah,
that one
they're
like more of the today one where it has the
no,
United
no,
Kingdom plate?
nope. It's got Australia and Mexico on the side.
Okay, so it
It's
is
funny because
designed like the
they use
classic.
this design for other belts too. Have you ever heard of the 10 pounds of silver?
Oh, the US, the NWA US.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the
They
same,
replaced the
basically the
dome
same
globe,
nameplate.
but they put the flag. Yeah. Well, they say, like they always say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. And I
Yep.
gotta say, when it comes to belt makings, when a lot of them look exactly the same, you can say it's a flattery feel. Like the Hogan 80. '85 with the AEW national title, obviously taken off from the NWA's national or TV titles.
Well, now that you
Exact
mention
same
that,
design.
here, take
Yeah,
a look at this. Look how many they did. There's the national,
yeah, that looks
and
like a
then
beautiful belt.
that one. Yeah, that one cost a pretty penny. Then you got the world TV titles, basically the same design.
Yeah, except with the paint schemes and maybe a little
Right.
changing in the plate design, but the shape wise, all exact same. But I know
To
I
this
think there
one.
was two versions of the TV title. Yeah, that's the NWA US.
No, that's the WCCW American Heavyweight title.
Oh, oh, it kind of looked like that, like from the camera, but yeah. Now that one, yeah, I say they all look the exact same, and yet you gotta say it's probably made by the exact same belt maker because he didn't have many other designs.
I'm pretty sure they were all done by Reggie Parks.
Yeah, the late great Reggie Parks. And now we got Dave Milliken and all them. But I say like a true classic, if you imagine like getting the Backlund belts or the Bruno Sammartino belts. So like the very first WWE championship that was shaped like the US. Now imagine someone having that to the collection.
Well,
I mean, obviously not the real one
I was going to say,
because they obviously not the yeah,
no, go
yeah.
ahead,
Oh,
Ian.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I was going to say
Yeah,
was,
but I'm
at
saying
some
like
point,
this.
I'm gonna get one eventually. But that title, it was shaped like the U.S. because it actually was a U.S. title. They just changed the plate and
Yes.
put world on it at some point back in like '63, I think it was, somewhere around there.
It had to be before it became the WWE Championship. But yeah, it was a US title, but then it just had a little plate on it. It said
Right.
World's Champion that they screwed in. And I'm like thinking, man, I mean, don't get me wrong, I can see some belts that could change from being like a world title could design could be even mid card titles. Say it. Like the design wise for Reggie IC. Some people even use it in their promotions as the world title, but yet have the font change a bit, obviously, because they don't want to just take a replica and just say it's the world title, you know, it says Intercontinental on the damn thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can see them changing the stuff around a bit to make them various championships. Even TNA had done that with the original Legends title, which was also a television championship, and then became the international championship. Like TNA had done the change on their one title all the time.
Well, do you see yourself down the line in the future, collecting previous or past WWF, WWF belts? Obviously, like not tomorrow or next week, but down the line, say maybe in a couple of years or so, would you see yourself buying them to kind of complete the collection?
I mean, I've already think I started on it with my WWE Championship collection. They from the current undisputed right now all the way to the Backlund belt, the
Right.
WWF Championship belt. Now, obviously, I think it's not have to go down a little bit further because there's also the one with the back where Bruno Sammartino held the other two versions that are known. But there's multiple other versions of the WWF Championship that were seen, but obviously not a lot of people add to or have a replica of them in their collection because I don't think anyone ever think about getting them as a collector's item. But
After
yet, unless you're
the
like a
original one that was shaped like the United States, I believe I could be wrong, but I know there's at least four different designs for the WWF Championship before the Superstar Billy Graham version that you have, the Backlund version that you have. There's at least four versions
yeah,
in between.
yeah. Well, there's the red strap, and there was a purple strap as well of the Backlund belt, and of course the original one was a red strap with the silver eagle on it, where it was a weird neck, the Pedro Morales version. But yeah, there's those. but there's also other various titles before that, like the trophy style blue suede strap that Bruno Sammartino held that had two side plates on it that said Buddy Rogers and Bruno Sammartino on each end, and it
Right.
had the words WWF World Champion. There's that one, and there was multiple versions as well. There used to be a video about it on Hazard at Five's channel, but obviously it was taken down after had a copyright strike. Now he doesn't post it anymore, but he had the full 60-year history of the WWE Championship, and he showed multiple versions, including one that no one has ever seen. It was mostly just a one-plated belt. It had like the medallion on it that looked like something from Caesar's Palace, and it said World Champion. It was a silver plate, but it had like a thick strap to it. It was like a weightlifter's belt. There was that version that talks about. But then again, you got to look through those histories, including like Pedro Morales one where I think the main plate looked like it was a police badge and had another plate underneath that said WWF on it. It had blue and green as a leather strap or something like that.
Blue or green or purple or green. Yeah, I know what one you're talking about there.
Yeah, I think that was like the Pedro Morales version as well.
Yeah, he's the only one that held that, and it was very short. And then they went to the one that he is known for, which is similar to the Backlund style, except the eagle, I believe, was
that crooked
silver.
neck eagle. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, not a lot of people have think about getting those in their collection. I'm like, there's not there's not even a lot of people on YouTube that would have like a replica version of those titles. Many even I don't even see them on Belt Fan Dance channel of the ring used ones. So it's hard to find those type of things now. Even I don't even think those titles are in Triple H's office. Like he has the real belts in the office from the big green, the original WWF US title, all the way to the current title he had today.
Well,
he has those in his office.
One of the belt makers that I deal with actually has all those original designs that we just talked about. I'll give you an example. Yeah. Most people never see this. That there is the first ever World Tag Team title for WWF. It was only a main plate. There's no side plates to it. That's from 1971. Wow. That was their first official one. And then it went from that to this one. That was their World Tag Team Championship. You don't really see these. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was before the ones we've seen at WrestleMania that kind of looked more like an NWA Dome Globe version.
Well, yeah, that one, that design right there is from 1972, I believe, to 1980 or 81. They used that design.
As I was saying, that was before the very first WrestleMania. Because I say, not many people know about them because as well, there's not even that many photographic evidence of those belts as well. So unless you were there in person to see them, no one would know about them to the collection. I'm saying you're the one that has these type of belts. I mean, you literally have a collection that's like living history of wrestling. Like some people's like, oh, you got the Oval IC, you got the European and all that. No, here I got a Backlund belt. Only a handful of people would have that to their collection. And here you're showing off the very first design of the WWF World Tag Team title. That was before WrestleMania, before anyone even seen wrestling on their public TV and see title belts be defended. Some people don't even have those.
I was 4 years old when that title came out. I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I mean, when I was born, the Winged Eagle was about to be kicked out and the Big Eagle was about to come in. That's only how old I am. I was saying, almost 30 years ago, last time I was around, 96. Literally, the Winged Eagle was probably being held by Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels around the time, including Undertaker. That was around the time when WrestleMania 12 was probably the first WrestleMania that I know of when I was born. And yeah, through that time, Undertaker won the Winged Eagle at WrestleMania 13. That was probably near the end of the Winged Eagle's life. It only had one more year left before they swapped it out to the Big Eagle. And that's another thing, too. Multiple variations of the Big Eagle that most people won't know about. Some people don't know about the blue strap block logo version until WWE starts selling them. Nowadays, all you see is the scratch logo version.
Right.
It's like you gotta remember there's multiple variations of titles, like the US spinner belt. Everyone saw the one where the side plates had was just a big star. But little did they know they also had was a different version that had US on it. That one is you've seen in like videos where someone goes to like the WrestleMania Superstore and they have the real belts on display. That particular version is on display, even though it's not a one that you see John Cena walk around out as champion all the time. And of course, there's other belts that never were released, like the Brahma Bull belt. That one never got seen on TV, but then been made into replica belts. And it's like, why do they have this belt? Well, it was supposed to come out, but in terms, it got lost in the mail. Where I see it, I don't think, I mean, yes, it could happen. Belts could get lost in the mail. But then again, WWE has it in the warehouse now. I'm thinking they just scrapped the idea because I'm saying that belt looked pretty damn ugly. To my to my thoughts. The belt, I mean, it was just a knockoff of the smoking skull. And now we see where anyone that holds a title can customize the championship. Now we're seeing the US title get more customizations than the Intercontinental or the WWE versions.
Well, I did see
I mean,
on eBay a US version that was strictly for Jacob Fatu. And I'll tell you what, I actually liked it. I saved it on on my eBay, but if I was to get a US title, I think it would be that one.
uh,
It had a lot more red into it, put it that way.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. There's some other customization of belts that would look pretty damn cool if they actually used them. Like there was a class like the like I see people like Paul. You ever hear of Paul Martin? He has a YouTube channel as well. He re-leathered a version of this US belt that has the leather design like the main plate, where it has like this whole side with the blue with stars and stripes, and the stripes
Okay.
come out in the leather on that side. That alone looked pretty damn cool. And having like a baby blue backing on it, I gotta say, it
Mhm.
looks. I mean, even though it's a belt that was never used on TV, it will look damn good if they use that version.
Yeah, people do come up with some very cool designs on their own. The one you'll never see them on
Yeah,
TV, but just because you don't see them on TV doesn't mean they're not cool.
yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. There's, and I tell people, what does it be like a belt collector? It's like there's a ton of belt versions of belt collectors. There's some that are the hardcore ones, the ones that want to get belts that look exactly like the ones on TV. They want to get theirs on real leather. They want to get theirs with real stones. Some that just collect to collect, like they'll get replica belts and just be fine with it. Like and for me, I'm kind of like in between where I do own replicas, but I try to get them to make them look like the real ones on TV. Like my WWE Shop Oval I repainted blue and got it on a real on with real stones, and I'm working to get it on a real leather strap. Like I want to restone the belts because they look better. The stones and that make the belt pop more when they're in the light and they sparkle.
Mm.
But that cheap plastic shit they added to it, it's just God, it looks horrible. I hate to say it, but like another question, like to you. When you get a belt with stones, would you prefer to just keep it as it is, or would you rather replace the stones with real ones? Like your thought
Hmm.
of when it comes with belts with stones.
Most of the time, I'll leave them. You know what I mean? Like I personally, I've only actually had it to. I'm not a belt fixer like you are. Like I definitely try to avoid that thing. Um, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
even.
mean, I take my risk, but I at least got good at
No,
it
no, no. I'm
through the
not. That's
time.
what I'm saying. You're very good at what you do. I wouldn't even attempt that.
Okay, I just did that on accident. I was just like, okay, let's hope I don't fuck it up. And I did it, and the next day I was like, well, that wasn't that some difficult, but then when you do it, it's like it got easy. It's just that you got to have the nerve to do it and know what you're about to do. There's no going back. You had to
That's just.
literally just
I've
make
only
sure
done
that
it
you
one
make enough
time.
space to put the stones in.
Yeah, I'll even show
Yeah.
you. I only did one. Hold on, let me turn the light on.
All right.
There we go. See that one stone there? That one big stone?
Well, I think your camera's a little bit. Oh, yeah, that one.
There. Can you see that?
Oh, the Backlund belt. Yeah, the Backlund one.
No, that's not a Backlund
Or
belt.
no, it looked. I say it almost looked like it because of the shape, but yeah, I see that stone.
That fell out. So
Ah,
what I just
yeah, I had a couple that do that to me. Yeah, I had a couple of the unlicensed ones that did that to me, but luckily enough, I had just had E6000. I just glued that back on. Like I tell as well, people like that do want to do stonework, you do it at your own risk, because no one, unless you go to a professional. But then again, still you got risk with doing it to a professional because you're putting your own belt on their hands. If they mess up, it's because it's not on them. It's nothing they can do about it. It mostly be on you because you trusted them. Exact same thing like for me. I won't trust having my like belt that's $300-400, send that out, have it restone after I pay for it, and then have to pay the shipping to get it back to me. That costs an extra money. At that point, I just buy stones off eBay. They sell Swarovski crystals and cubic zirconias. Only thing is, you just got to know the sizing of the stones. And that could vary on range. Like sometimes I miscalculate and I got some that are either too big or too small. But if they're just a little bit bigger than the holes, no problem. If as long as it looks good, I don't mind using them. If I get them exact, oh thank God, I just remember it and like oh, and that's why I made it says I'll keep the baggies too. It says the size on them. So next time if I need more of them, I'd be looking like, okay, which one is that? The size? Oh, okay. That's why I say eBay is probably the best option. And some people say, "Oh, the stones you get are not real stones. They're not the real Swarovskis or the real cubic zirconias because you're buying them for like $20 or $30. And it's like the real ones you cost over hundreds of dollars. Well, one, I'm only buying a random amount that I need, and two, it's eBay. And last time I checked, I'm not sure if they're cubic zirconias or not, but they sure as hell sparkle better than the stock stones. I'll tell you that for damn sure. And I'm saying, people, it's like, if you know, how do you know belts? Like those type people.
Well, how long have you been actually doing
But,
belts now, DM? Your own, like your own personal ones, and actually repairing when you need to, or replacing.
well, for me, I started making my homemade ones for a very long time, over I'd say about good 12 years now, since I done my like original WWE spinner belt. That's when I was just using like rhinestones I got out of a fabric store. And those still do good for various reasons. Like I don't use sometimes for customers and that, like Jordan Ramsey, who won like 3 homemade belts for me. His the revisited homemade spinner belt I use. I actually used some Swarovski crystals in that belt because there were flatback versions of them, and I don't like flatbacks. Like literally, if you got a belt and the stone falls out and it has that little like a little pivot inside it to where a pointed back stone could fit in, I don't like using a flatback on it. First off, flatbacks feel cheap, and second of all, not a lot. You gotta literally have to fill that whole hole up with glue so the flatback can at least touch the glue. And that point is stupid. That's why I buy the pointed back versions of stones. I never buy flatbacks. But for me, when I did started my restone work. I think I started it with my old school Big Eagle, which was a couple years ago. I think it was about 5 years ago, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to check my old account, but literally, I think it was either that or my network logo belt when I started to do that one with real stones. That's when I started like, you know what? I need to start thinking about replacing some of the stock stones on my replica belts with real ones because first off, when I did get the network belt, I first got it with my custom side disc, which looked beautiful. Got the fan new sidebars with them. I'm like, I'm making these things look more real now. And then I started doing curving on those main plates. And I tell people, do it that one at your own risk because replica WWE shop replicas, they're casted. They're not like manufactured CNC stuff like most other belts. They're made from a cast. So it's like you're trying to bend cast iron, and we already know how brittle cast iron can be. So I was basically trying to curve them at my own risk. I've seen videos of people doing it with the sides of their couches and that. And I've seen people that literally take the plates off and put them on like those rounded grills, like the smoking grills. Heat those up, and it'll like literally heat the metal up to where it could create that bend. And others that just bend it over the knee. First off, you ain't bending these plates over your knee unless you got enough muscles in that, and two, you have a strong enough legs to have the metal bend on your knee. And two, I don't like that risk because there's a chance you try to bend over, next snap.
Mm.
That's the part that sucks. Now, old school replicas like Big Zinc versions before they were casted, those will be easy. Just bend and because most of them are like millimeters thick to begin with. Once they get to thicker ones, at that point you gotta basically almost be equivalent to Eddie Hall to try to bend those. And to bend them without them cracking, like I said, you're bending them, you're taking your own risk. And for me, I always hate to try to take my own risk, but then again, it's like if I don't do it, it's never gonna happen. So that's why I've bended my red, my blue universals, and of course my WWE Network logo belt. I think tried to bend a couple more, but obviously I don't think they're gonna go like the replica big gold. That one's different because the side plates are casted. The main plate ain't. Apparently, it's the only version of a replica belt where the main plate was actually made out of stainless steel. It's not made out of like zinc and all the other replica plates are, which I think is kind of weird. They did that with the big gold. I don't know if they still do that with their chromite version, but at that point I left those belts alone. And I even curved my dual plated tag team belt because it was a little bit more flatter. I wanted to curve that one a bit. Well, now that one looks perfect. But so I say when I start fixing belts, I say I started doing that probably about a few years ago. It was before I got my new place. I was doing them at my old apartment. So yeah, it was a few years ago when I started doing that stuff. And I was just doing it in my room with some form of protection stuff. Taking a drilling holes into the plate. I mean, the plates where the stones just get enough. Then put glue in there, insert the stones, and let it dry. And next, they just pop. But I like it better when I get from a person that actually puts like cubic zirconias or Swarovskis in the plates, to where I see them, they sparkle, not like those fake stock stones. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch them. This belt being one of them, because I'm not gonna want to even touch this belt. This thing looks like the real deal. And yet it still makes me question about Hassan if he actually just stole this from WWE warehouse. Because the leather is accurate, the plates are accurate, and of course the stones are accurate. That's what I say. Hassan blew my mind with that belt. But yeah, some belts I do touch ups and some I just leave alone. Because there's not much to do touching up on.
But
Unless
bottom
it's
line,
the
you've been
leather,
doing it for
then
quite
I
some
just get
time now.
yeah. Like obviously, you don't have no replicas like WWE shop replicas where on fake
The
straps, right?
official, yeah, the official ones. I don't have. Every single belt in here is unofficial.
Yeah. Like for me, when you get like the thought of getting an official WWE shop replica or an AEW replica, you ever have that thought where you realize you want it to feel real and you realize the strap is crap? And I say you always like your belts. If you're a true belt collector, you want to have a real leather strap on a belt, right?
Well, yeah, I put it this way. But most of the time, though, this is strictly me. Once I get the belt and I put it on one of the shelves somewhere in the room, I honestly, that's where it stays. Unless for some reason I try to maybe,
Move or
yeah, move it,
clean.
put another, switch the belt here, put it something else there.
Yeah.
Other than that, they'll sit on the shelf. Like so that's why for
I
me
mean, because
personally,
like some people
I
they
don't
would
need it
take
in
those
for the
belts.
6 months.
Yeah, 'cause as I say, like that's like me. Like some of these belts, I barely want to even move them or touch them, especially ones that are signed. I don't want to mess with those. Keep the signature
Right,
clean.
right.
But like, say, like you go to like a live event or a wrestling show, you never want to bring those belts with you, right?
Who?
Like some people would do that. They would like want to bring a belt with them to the wrestling show, but it's like they bring the replica. Like for me, I don't even feel like bringing a replica. I bought the red Universal at Hell in the Cell when it was in Detroit, and I'm thinking that was $500 for that belt, and I just had it in my lap. I'm literally like, I mean, thank God I got it, but to take it to a live event with a bunch of people, like I don't want to risk it getting scratched, broken, or let alone stolen,
Stolen,
unless you live
right.
in those
Yeah, yeah.
areas. That's why, like for me, I was glad enough I could make homemade belts, so I could bring a homemade one with me and have people look at me like, "Wow, that's a good looking belt." And I had to tell them, "Yeah, I made this." Like, like if I ever go, if I have money and I go to like to Raw, that's coming to Detroit, I think on the 17th, I may just bring this bad boy with me. I mean, from the camera, they
Okay.
can't tell if this is a real belt or a replica.
That's what I'm talking about. On it, the camera hides or basically gives the illusion
I mean,
of
because like
something that
like
it's
you
not.
can't like the same and as well for my art skills, you can't tell this is homemade, right?
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
from
Is the
this,
camera
yeah, like from a like for me, I'm looking at the camera in the distance. This thing looks like I'm holding the real belt, if not yet a replica of the belt
exactly
in my hands. But yet up close, like even up close, it can hardly tell if this is still like a homemade one or not, unless you see like the little lines in that and the stuff. But I tell you, for my homemade artwork, like I could bring this to an event and people will be wondering, where'd you get this? And I'd be telling them like I tell them I made it. And they were
right?
like, "You made that? It almost looks like the real deal." I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm glad to see like my art skills evolve. Every time I make a belt, sometimes I might have a thought of how it's done, but literally, this is the first time I actually made a tag team belt, and most of my belts I made, and it's like, well, I'm gonna try to see if I succeed or fail. And so far, not I haven't made a belt that I have said it was a complete failure and ditched yet. And I'm surprised that this one is another one I add to my collection. And it's a great looking belt.
Have
Like
you
I
ever
got like
tracked
again the
how
light.
much time it does, DM? You ever track how much time you spend on a belt? Like I know you don't do everything in one day, where you might do some
Oh
work
yeah.
and then take a break, come back to it maybe the next day or next couple of days. But did you ever actually add all that time together to figure out how long it took you to make a belt?
Oh yeah. Many times I always keep like I always time myself to see if I how long it takes for me to make a belt. Like
Hmm.
like some I have done before. It could take like none of these belts I made take me over a month to make. Unless I would have to wait till I get paid to get the materials. Obviously, there's
Right.
that delay of time, but majority of the time when I make a belt, the average time for me could be about a week to 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm surprised the fact that when I start making these belts, I literally take the time either from before I go to work or after I go to work or come home from work, and I would take the time I have before I maybe go to sleep. And that I spend most of my time working on these projects. And like for this tag belt, I can say the amount of time I did on this was about equivalent to less than 2 weeks. I think one belt I literally quickly made. The fastest belt I made was probably less than I would say almost an entire week, 5 days to bake.
Okay.
And and even though like I could work at that speed and see great detail, like that's because I put in a lot of time. Literally, I could work day and like on the weekend, it's day and night. From the moment I wake up and mess around and BS, I'm still working on the plate, probably on and off camera to the time I go to bed, and then the next morning it's rinse and repeat. And then it's like next now I tell myself, gotta get this working, keep it going. And next thing you know, when I got it all done and made, I set up get ready for a video and show it off to the world. And I tell people, it's like, yeah, it took me a couple of days and not yet a couple of weeks to make it. And people wonder like how you can have that type of skill to work that fast and yet make sure to look at perfect. It's like because I do work fast, but as well it's kind of a weird thing to say. Yeah, I work fast on it, but I also keep like basically take my time on them as well. It's kind of an odd way of saying it, like a double entendre. I take my time to study. I look at the belts, see if I need to fix them up or not. But as well, while I'm doing that, I'm still working on it. So it's not like I'm pausing, checking it out, and then see, oh, okay, and then work on it again. No, while I'm working on one thing, I'm probably working on the next thing. Like, or I'm thinking, like, okay, is the plate the right size? While I see, and then what I'm thinking about is like, okay, the side plates are the right size. Is the main plate the right? Let me cut out the side plates to get those. Like, I'm thinking all that in my head while I'm doing all the other stuff. So that's probably where I'm basically multitasking on the whole thing. And then eventually, when I got it all set and done, it all comes together as a beautiful piece of art and something that people can enjoy. So yeah, that's basically that. If I do say, I occasionally sometimes would time myself, wondering how fast of a can I make a belt. Like many times I thought of that, but then I keep it at constant. Next, I'm like throwing out a belt every 2 weeks or so if I got time to do it.
Well, I wouldn't want you to rush a belt. I mean,
Well, I
rushing
know that. Like,
might make
I
a
mean, I'm not.
mistake. And,
I mean, I'm not rushing it. I'm like, if I was trying to rush it, like, see how fast it goes. If I could get it out in a day, which I know is impossible to do, especially with the real life coming at me with Monday tasks, it'd be impossible for me to do. That's why I say I still keep my checklist. Like my first thought's like, okay, trace out the plates, cut the plates out, put them on gold, like put the gold tape on them to make them look that gold color. Next, it's
well, here,
like, do they
let
have the
me ask you
die?
this one then, DM. Let me ask you this one. Have you ever like you've gone to work and now you've come home and it's like a second job? Like you go right back to the belt that you were working on once you were done your normal everyday job. Have you ever done that?
Uh, do I ever think of making the belts as a second
Well, no, no,
job?
no. I mean, no, no, no,
I
not like that. Not like that. I mean, where you go to work, your normal work that you'll do every day, and then you'll come home and say you're making a belt, and like you come home from work, and then you start working right on the belt,
oh
like it was your second job. Say,
well, like it was my second job. Well,
yeah,
if it was like a belt that is for me personally, like I do the Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest where I tell people to vote on that belt. Technically, no, I wouldn't say it as that. But if it's like a belt for a person for a giveaway asking for, I would say yes, kind of like that. Like I want to try to get it out as soon as possible to them because they asked for it and all that stuff. Like I have given
right.
away most of some of those homemade belts to people, and it's like if it's to people that are wanting it, I'm like telling them, okay, I'll get it out at this time and I work on it. I would say it's kind of like that. Where if it's for somebody else, it would kind of feel like a job. Literally, like I want to get this out and send it to the person right away. But if it's for me personally, I'd be like, this is just a normal hobby thing for me. You know, if it's kind of like that. Like if it's for me personally, like for just to add up on my own wall, I see it more like a hobby. But then when I want to give it away to somebody that wants a piece of my artwork to their collection, then I can see it as a job. Like I want to get this done and give it to him right away before he be like, "Come on, man, what's taking so long?" Like I don't want. I mean, I don't. I know many times they don't want. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like that. But to me, I have that feeling. Like I want to get it out there soon so he can enjoy it and see my
Right.
artwork and keep it fine. Like I do take my time on them. Like and as well for me, I can see most of my artwork. Not all of them are exact like my type of way how I do them. every title somewhat different in a sort of way. I'm not a robot. So like I've made multiple versions of the hardcore title. I made two white strap classic IC belts. I've made two smoking skulls, and I made a different winged eagle and a couple undisputeds. Majority of them are not all the same. Like, the smoking skull is actually designed, but it's not exactly like how mine is. The one I gave to another guy, it looks a little bit different, but as I say, like I'm not a constant. I can't. I'm not like a machine that could keep the exact same, like have it look exactly the same like the original every single time. That's what I'm trying to say. But maybe it'll look close. Like I can make another one that looks almost exactly like this one, but then there's something about it that's off from the original. But then again, that's just me. And as well as people wonder, do I keep my originals? As an artist, you always want to keep the originals because eventually, if you get big into the community, like say, like here on YouTube, you and down the line, I know eventually those things probably be worth something. You always want to keep an original just in
Right.
case.
Well, here, let me ask you this: as far as
Because
the
you,
belt design, you've created some of your own. Obviously, like you've done the SmackDown tag title. You just had the hardcore. Multiple different things you've tried and created your own. Have you ever thought of trying to create your own Backlund belt off the belt that you have to see if you could do where it's actually that big relief eagle in the center? You think you could do something like that?
if I ever thought of making a Backlund belt and try to match it up to the one I got,
Yes.
I mean, it would be a challenge because they like every belt like that belt is something I haven't done before. Like most of my belts are belts I've always it's a first attempt to try to see what I could do. Now for the Backlund belt, if I ever tried it, would I think it's gonna match exactly like the one I have? Probably not. But it'll look pretty darn close to it. I mean, for that big eagle piece, I'm pretty sure I have to make like 3 layers of it just so it fit kind of match it. And for all that like pattern that's in the plate that looks like it has a gridiron or that on there, it'll be kind of hard. Like some designs are just somewhat difficult to do. To do because when I first started, I told people that there was not a chance I'd probably make it undisputed, and the next, I ended up making because that probably would be a deal, especially because they had all the amount of gold probably have to do to add that swirl patterns that are in the plate. And I got to study, literally have to study the big gold night and day of. That would take me a long time to try to do, but I'm pretty sure I could do it. It's just that it would take me a lot longer than normal I would do to do a big gold. For Backlund, I could if I study it long enough, I'm pretty sure I could get it down. And then again, for I always make it somewhat different to the belts I add to the collection. Like my winged eagle, I took that from my replica or unlicensed replica that I got from mock belts. Then again, I also had it from my hardcore title. But then I put it together, my homemade winged eagle dual plated version, unlike my actual unlicensed replica, which is an all gold version. Like if I ever thought to make the Backlund belt, I want to try to make it somewhat different than the version that I of the real one I own. Say like I may make the red strap version or the purple strap with the green backing version. So like I said, I own a real I own the winged eagle in my cabinet, but my homemade one looks like the WrestleMania 4 version where it's dual plated with the gold and chrome, and it looks like the one that Kurt Hennig smashed up before he it was sold to a private collector. Like recently, just added the diamond patterns on the gold tip. Like this winged eagle I done, it's a lot different than the real one I own. And of course, I made another one that was given to Jordan Ramsey. He got in the all gold winged eagle I gave to him. His he got and it looked like the one that Bret Hart held. That one with a different leather cut and all that. And of course, this one, I'm not sure if it's accurate to the dual plated one because I think the gold bars are a little bit too long. I think the gold bars on the dual plated one, they're shorter. But I made this one accurate to where the wings stick out from the leather. So you can actually see the backing of the eagle's wings on this one. But it is nice soft leather as well. Like some leather I use, or vinyl, I'll call it, because it's not real leather,
Right.
it's vinyl. But the backing of this on the vinyl of this belt, it feels nice and smooth. Some of my belts have smooth backings, and some are just the typical one, like for the that feel more tougher in person. But this one, it's nice and floppy, and I do like the smooth feeling of the backing of it. And this one really does stick out. Like, and over the years I've done making these belts, I always try to make them look better and stick and step up my game because before, like the early years, I didn't use puff paint to match out the snap boxes and that. I most times I use like a marker that occasionally may stick out in the sun, but when I learned about puff paints, I I I started to paint out the snap boxes and then put snaps in on them. But then I was like, you know what? Then when I saw about the shell tooling design, I gave that a try. Before I didn't add like the shell tooling design to it. It was mostly just half circles. But then when I took a toothpick and try to drag it out to add that shell tooling design, that's when you look into it and you see, oh, you see shell tooling in that. So yeah, I could say it just takes over the years. I I experiment and then take time to work on it, and then next you know, it almost looks as close to like the real deal without costing that much money to make it a real deal. But yeah, I would say I would definitely want would if I ever thought about it. Maybe I'll say in the next Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest, I may put the Backlund belt in there as a you know as a test to see if anyone wants to see me make that belt. But yeah, I would
Well,
like to
I'll
say
tell you
down the
ahead of
line,
time,
give it
I'd
a
like to
test.
see you make that belt. If you could make that belt, you might be able to make a lot of different old school trophy style belts. That would be like a test. If you could do that one, there's probably a multitude of other old school belts you might be able to do. You just don't realize it.
Well, because majority of old school belts were basically like trophy belts, and they do look like they could be like a homemade design, like how I started off making them like homemade. But if I could make the real, like perfectly good design belts, like the Winged Eagle here, the Backlund belt would definitely probably be almost. I could say I wouldn't want to like jinx myself to say it'd be easier, but I would definitely say it would be somewhat of a test on my abilities to see if I could create something that almost looks like something to be out of a homemade belt.
Well, think of it this way,
But
DM.
yeah,
If I can show you two more belts real quick, all right, and you'll see what I'm talking about. With
yeah.
dealing with the Backlund belt. If you could do the Backlund belt, now imagine what you could do with this one. That is an
Now that
Intercontinental
one,
Championship. That's a
that's let me
WWF
not the
Intercontinental Championship from Don Morocco had that one.
as I said the Don Morocco version of the WWF. Well, yeah, I can see that being a possibility because this looks like a plain plate, and I could just use gold puff paint to draw in the designs of that belt. I mean, because the eagle don't look like it pop out much, but if I could use puff paint to draw out the feathers and all that, it will look pretty good. I can
The
see
other one
that
is
being a
right next to
possibility.
it. The other one's right next to it.
Yeah, now that the Pat Patterson trophy belt version.
Well, that's not the
Yeah, I
Intercontinental.
guess.
That's the WWF North American title. Ted DiBiase held that.
Ah,
He was the first champion.
ah. Now I can say like those that look like trophy belts just look like plain plates. Now those could be. I mean, they wouldn't be. I wouldn't say they're much of a challenge because it almost looks like a simple homemade belt that even like my nephew could do. But I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but I could say
Right.
definitely would be it would feel like like to me wise, it would feel like it wouldn't be much of a challenge, but it would be definitely a test I could try out.
What
Like
about
that
that
one,
thing?
I could see like that belt, I could see maybe it could be somewhat of a test with the eagle because the eagle pops out a little bit more than the last one.
And that is also a WWF belt.
Yeah, I can see that. Like some of those old school belts, I mean, they have the vibe of feeling like a homemade belt. Like it wouldn't be much of a test, but then again, I not just want to judge it by myself because many times I always said the belts I make now are kind of more of a test for me wise, and then when I make it, it's like, oh, it was a walk in the park. So,
I still think it would be
like me,
interesting if you were to try that, though. Me personally, that's what I would
I
think.
may give that. Well, I'll say um, through time, I would say I'll say the next Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest. I would say this right now to anyone listening, let it be known. Oh, that okay. Some people when they post their names, it's hard to pronounce them. And if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. But yeah, let it be known now out here for the next Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest. I'm gonna the first inductee into it is gonna be the Backlund belt, and want to see it there. I'll do it by votes because I know everyone wants to see this type of version, but yeah, I want to let it be known when when I do another choose a belt contest, the Backlund belt's going to be the first inductee as the design, like your room design. Thank you. But I say that will be up there as my other versions. Today I'm running out of ideas of belts to make because I've pretty much almost made it all from the oval IC, classic IC, hardcore, undisputed, light heavyweight, ECW. I'm surprised. I'm running out of ideas. And two, I've even gone through the back to the old school designs of mine and revisit them and did them better. Like my very first WWE spinner, I've redone that, made that one better version, and now Jordan Ramsey owns it. And I do better almost every time I make a copy or another version of the belt I have already made. I seem to make it better every single time. So I can see it as a challenge. So let it be known, Backlund belt is going to probably be a selection of the Choose a Belt contest when we get to WrestleMania 43, which is coming along very soon. A detour down to the retro old school belts, and because then once I ran out of options for like the from the 90s all the way to today's designs, I would definitely maybe take a step into the other categories because majority of my belts are from WWF WWE era and only one ECW. I know WCW ideas. They got a couple WCW belts to give it a try, but yeah, I would definitely go. Maybe have to take a step through a time machine, go back to the past designs, and see if those a try. But speaking of, Adam, if there was, I'm pretty sure you told me about this. I think there was this question before, but might as well tell it to you now since you're here, Pez. Out of all the belts in your collection, or the ones you don't have yet, if you were required to keep only one, which one would it be?
Only one. Uh, um. Boy, that's hard. Um, I'm looking around. Uh,
Because I was saying, like someone told me that question, I had to look around in my collection. I'm like, I had to pick only one because some of them do look pretty damn good. Like I got like a top three, but if it's only one, I mostly would stick to the one I started with. A very like for me, I always have a heart. I always have my heart set on something like this because this was my very first belt I owned in my collection. Like I paid it and gave it to myself. this one would be a hard one to say I would let go. I would mostly keep this one because the fact it's my very first belt, and it's all and you see all now all done redone with stones on a real leather strap, even though it's Velcro. One piece gold tip. It's literally like the real belt. Like that one, I would not want to give up. I'll most likely have that one to the day I die.
I'm stuck between two. Either, well, you already know that one. Either the Backlund belt, either that one,
Oh,
or the what you call it. That's the belt that
the
actually got me
NWA
into collecting
national.
my national.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like some do look better than others, and for me, it's like I only have the. I would say out of all of them, I always want to stick with my first. Like out of your collection, like I say, if you had to get rid of, if you wanted to keep one of those, but tell me, is any one of which one of those was your first belt you added to your collection? Like, do you ever have the heart belt for your very first? You know, like how people say about like girlfriends and that you can't forget your first. Exact same thing for me. It's like I can't forget about my network logo belt because that one is my first. For your belts, which one was your first?
My first I keep in the other room. I'm not exactly proud of it. It's really bad. Uh, I'll have to go.
Oh,
Well, follow me. We'll go down the hall. I'll show it to you.
yeah.
I keep it
Yeah,
separate. I
so
don't
say
keep them
here
as
we
a
go on
press.
the tour, guys. I mean, yeah, but as I say, like you sometimes you may not be proud of it, but it's your first, and that's what got you started. And
Well,
sometimes you gotta have like a heart to it.
uh, there it is. Can you see it?
Oh, the AWA World Title. That's not a bad
Yeah,
one.
it's not bad, but it's so. It was my first belt.
Bland.
It was a learning lesson. Like it's very cheaply
Yeah.
made. So that
Ah.
was a that was
So
a
what is
that
it
was a learning
like
lesson
made
for
out of
me.
brass? Yeah, like
Well,
made out
yeah,
of brass and that.
it's metal, but it's brass. So I still need to get another version of this. I want to get the inmate
Yeah.
version. Um, the inmate version
Yeah.
actually it got its name because they actually had prisoners make the actual belt.
Ah, kind of like
That's
how
why
there
it's
was
called.
like the
If
Vegas
you ever
big
see
goal
it,
for WWE.
I was gonna say if you ever see something called
Like
the inmate version, I mean that's how it's got its name.
because they had basically prisoners make it.
Pretty much. I'm actually
Now
getting
that's
rid of.
just yeah. Oh, I see. What
So
is that? A
don't.
UFC belt?
Yeah, that's a UFC one. And there's another
I say like
backward
my
one with the
brother
purple
likes
strap.
his UFC belt. I'd say like my brother likes his UFC belt. I just fully restoned it for him. And and the funny thing is about his is an older version too, but son of a bitch. I he was always hoping to get that legacy version, but then again, the legacy version they have on UFC, it's like $800. I'm like, man, I might as well go to the unlicensed route because
Exactly.
I'm not gonna drop nearly almost a grand on that type of belt, and it's not even close to like the real deal when they. But yeah, like for me, I always like so you keep your first in your own room, but yet you're not real proud of it. I mean, because it's the way it was made. But if you ever get a redone version of it, like a better version of that belt, now would you say that one may be up there to one of the original, like the original question of out of all of them, which one you would keep? Like, would your first ever be in a selection on the of only one belt you would keep? Or would you just say,
Um,
I don't
I still would probably pick the national. Like I said,
okay.
the AWA one was the one that actually got to me first. Like I ordered a couple, and the AWA was the one that came first, so that's technically that's why I call it my first belt. It arrived in the mail first.
Yeah. Because I say, like, for me, I always would keep my first as an option of but I only have to keep one belt just because the fact it has sentimental value, but as well as it has better value because it's probably worth over $1,000 for the fact that I have a real leather strap in it. And as well, speaking of straps, any thoughts of today's belts that are now using Velcro, but they have fake snap designs in them? What's your thoughts of having belts that have Velcro
I'll tell you
fastening
what.
for snap?
Again, this is all just personal preference. At first,
Yeah.
I kind of frowned at the idea because I like the strap. But then the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, it's kind of hard. Like sometimes if you're trying to put that belt on yourself, unless you're going to whisk it around the front and try to snap it down here. I mean, the Velcro would
Yeah, like
probably.
yeah,
It
yeah,
might
because
be a better option.
for me, I can do it with ease. Like here, I take my like cruiserweight and I really do it by myself, like wrap it around behind me and just snap it from the front like so. And like some people find it hard to do if they have big build and they can't
I
reach
find
behind their
that hard
backs.
to
I
do.
can see them do that.
I'm already jealous
But
you're able
like,
to do it. That I'd still be doing it.
yeah, because like some people can do that, but I can see why they prefer to do it from the front because maybe they can't reach behind them. Like I'm surprised I'm able to do it, especially with my messed up shoulder. But now, like say like this one, the current world heavyweight, which I got on a Velcro with fake snap, you can see like it still adds that vibe to make it. Oh, it looks like snaps, which I don't
Right.
understand why. But yeah, it's a lot easier to do because all you do is just press down and there you go, it fits. It doesn't have to look like it's snapped out, but other than the fact that it has that, I'm just saying, like, for my honest opinion, the fake snaps make them look a little bit better. Just saying, but it adds that vibe to make it feel like it's a toy belt. Like at this point, might as well have the straps made from the company that does the toy belts, like hell.
Hey, DM, real quick. Somebody wants to say hi to you.
All
Remember
right.
Holly, the Wolf of Chaos? That's my daughter.
Yep. Hey, Holly the Wolf, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah. So we got both Pez and Holly the Wolf. But hey, yeah, nice to see you all. But yeah, like I say, my opinion, I'm pretty sure your opinion as well. The Velcro, I can see it being like a yes and no. It's like a 50-50 opinion. Yes, because it's harder, it'd be easier to put the belt on you versus those that can't put the snaps on. But then
Right.
again, no, because it makes it feel cheaper and you might as well just be going for the toy belts at that rate.
Like I
So
said, yes and no. I was, like I said, I really didn't think I would like it in the beginning,
at first.
but it's kind of
Yeah.
grown on me a little bit, so I don't really
Yeah.
mind it now. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'm all right with the Velcro, believe it or not.
Yeah, because I say, like, for me, I didn't like it at first because it was like, okay, so it's like toy belts now. Like, they're just putting Mattel belts on them. But then after a while, I can see your reasons. Like, sometimes their arms may not be able to reach behind them to put the snaps on. Okay,
Well,
I
then the
get it.
ones they use in the ring now have Velcro on them, so
Yeah. Like, now, I guess, unless it's like house shows where they just put it over their shoulder and they have the snaps, like, some of those, they still have regular snaps. Like, during the reign of Roman Reigns, when he had the blue Universal, before it was a Velcro strap, but then he added it as normal snaps. Like some of those are okay.
right.
But like when they started Velcro, like here, I'll take out my network logo belt because it's a Velcro strap. They had fake snaps on one side, but the other side it was plain like this, no snap, like none of the fake snaps. Now that I think it makes it cheaply made. When they start adding
Right.
them, I think they look better. That's what I'm saying. Like the early stages of Velcro straps, I say no. Just because the fact it makes it look cheaply made and it just looks like a toy belt from there. But when you add the fake snaps to them, it looks better. I'll give it I say, yeah, it's almost equivalent to like the. Obviously, they're not like they don't look like real snaps on the WWE game because of the graphics, but at least it's starting to feel like you're playing a WWE game with those type of Velcro fake snap stuff. But I say definitely, I would say with snaps versus Velcro. The Velcro is 50-50 with the fake snaps. But when they don't when it's just the Velcro itself, uh, I start to say it goes from 50-50 to like 30-70, where it's like 30 yes and 70 no. But it's just because the fact it's starting to not feel like the belts of the early years. Like imagine seeing the Backlund belt on Velcro. It just looks weird.
Yeah, all right. If you put it like that, then yeah.
I mean, Velcro, but then again, Velcro didn't start from the early of the network logo age. It actually started when the Winged Eagle came about because they say Macho Man Randy Savage had a Velcro belt, Winged Eagle.
Well, that I didn't know.
Well, yeah, there's a version of it where he actually had a Velcro to it before they'd done like because he had a lean waist to where even the lower ends of the snaps didn't fit. So there was one time he actually used Velcro for a little while. But then again, there were multiple versions of the Winged Eagle that's hard to keep up. Yeah, because I learned that from Hazard F5's channel about the history of the WWE Championship. He said the Velcro was back in the day when they used it for Macho Man Randy Savage one time because he has such a lean waist that even the final ends of the snaps wouldn't fit him. So he's like, okay, we're going to cut the strap down a bit and use Velcro. Same. But then again, it was only the one time they did that. But I'm saying, imagine like old school belts that use snaps, but then they put Velcro to them. It's like in your opinion, you say it won't feel right. Like I say, imagine like the Crumb Ride Big Gold. Instead of snaps, they use the Velcro. That's
Well, I'll
kind of
tell you
doing
what.
a
I
disservice.
say they wouldn't look right, but I could be wrong. Like I would probably have to see it and see the
That's what I
actual
said.
motion of it.
Yeah. I let it be known now. Like WWE is the only company so far as I know right now that uses Velcro. Other companies are using snaps. As far as I know. Like AEW doesn't gone to the Velcro yet. I'm pretty sure they won't do that. Just because of the fact they don't want to copy WWE. Even though I feel like they kind of are. And TNA is working with WWE. At least let's hope they don't try to stick with them doing too. Because that would definitely be a like some belt designs, they look better with just snaps, and some they're okay when they're Velcro. Like let's just say that. I said with the Velcro strap, you say it's 50-50, yes and no. But as well, does it change by the design of the belt, or is it just don't matter of the design?
Um, See, that's just it. If if the belt has the Velcro on it, I mean, you don't really pay attention to that part anyway. At least I never did.
Yeah,
My
that's what I'm
focus
saying.
was always on the
Like some
plates
people,
and not so much the snap part.
yeah, yeah, like most people are more focused on the plates, like the front part of the belt. They don't care much about the back. But then many times when you catch them on
But
camera, it's
I guess
like,
when you word it like that, though, like if you're wording it like that, where um, you made me realize I'm looking at the plates and not the back. So maybe the Backlund belt might actually be okay with a Velcro. You know what I mean? Maybe I wouldn't be
yeah,
paying attention to
yeah,
it. You know?
yeah, kind of like when Ultimate Warrior won the Winged Eagle. It was dual plated before, but then when he started changing the colors of the strap, it was all gold, and pretty sure no one would ever notice. But they ever knew they had two versions of the white strap? There was,
I did not know.
yeah, there was one where it was a white front and the backing was all black. But then there was one when he was with when he was tag teaming with I think Road Warriors Demolition. It was a white strap, but it also had a red backing on it. Not many people would probably notice that. And of course,
So
there was two.
I sure as hell didn't notice that.
Yeah, and as well, there was two versions of the baby strap that nobody ever thought of. where it was here like the typical 2x5 on one side, 2x8 on the other, but it said WWF champion for the property plate. Then there was his other version. It was only 4 female snaps instead of 5 because he too had a lean waist, so he had to shorten the strap down a bit. And the logo plate, it said Ultimate Warrior instead of champion on it. Now, nobody could barely see unless you go back and watch, but there was 2 varying versions of Ultimate Warrior's like Winged Eagle belts. And I didn't know about it either until I heard from Hazard F5. But like I said, like most people would not pay attention. But then again, when you play certain WWE games where they have a very color of a Winged Eagle, you can see some of the snaps. It's not 2x5, it's like 2x4 or so. But yeah, like most people won't pay attention other they care about the front or the plates of the belts. They don't care about the okay. But then again,
Well, I'm definitely
if
guilty of
you're a
that
true
one.
belt fanatic and know about belts, you can remember everything. Does anybody know what the skull was? I was like for me, I was like, yeah, snake skin. Like, I mean, yeah, it was like snake skin, but it was like, was it like a snake skin or gray snake skin? Every variation of someone that makes a smoking skull, it varies. It's all about how they saw it on TV. Like
So what
when they
was it
sold
then
the replica,
originally? What kind of snake skin was it? Was it
I think
silver
it.
or
I think most likely. I think it was more like a grayish, or if not yet a white. Just because, or it could just because of the lighting that made it look like that. Because don't forget, lighting in wrestling, they make them look a lot different than they would be in normal types of
right?
light. Like like silver can look like white on light in a certain angle. For me, I think it was somewhat like a light gray snakeskin. That's for my stand.
Mm,
And as well this, like the smoking skull. When they sold the replicas, they didn't the replicas never had the 6 plate like the real belt did. The real belt had that WWF badge, like WWF attitude plate on it that even the women's title had, but yet it never sold it as a replica. Like I mean, I'll pull off my homemade smoking skull just to show it had this plate on there. The replicas never had this plate. And mine has like this grayish snake skin. But I said like some belts like people don't know of, they don't look carefully at it. They never thought, oh, I never knew that. Well, now you do. And I almost hit myself in the head with the flagpole.
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to hang my belts back up on the wall. But yeah, like people don't care much of design as long as they see the plates. Like when Shane McMahon held the title when it was a block logo. Many times do you think was it a black strap or was it a green strap? Because there was 2 versions of that European title as well. If it was either on the black strap or a green strap.
Right.
Like no one would ever know. Like I would say
I personally prefer the
many
black
times, like
strap.
for me,
Green strap's okay, but I prefer the black.
yeah. But then again, as well, like for like the block logo, it all varies too. Like during the time when they were still using the block logo, even though majority of the time when they showed the like on TV, it was scratch logos. It was the color straps. I guess Jamar liked to have a different, like certain belt have a certain color strap, which I almost make you ask this question. You never the toy belts, they had the tag belts before, like on a white strap for the toy belts. And I'm thinking, were the tag belts supposed to be on a white strap back in those days before they went to the scratch logos? Not sure. Turned down that, but it's funny. The world title was on the navy blue strap. Then the light heavyweight was on the red. European on the green, and the Intercontinental on the purple. And then it's just like, okay, the black tags were just always on black. But I'm thinking they could have changed them to white if it was gonna match like the belts, like the toy belts, because the toy belts have the exact same color schemes as well. But yeah. So you
Hey,
still
yeah,
say you prefer black strap over the color straps.
I do.
Now, backings, like you said, nobody almost as accurate to the one on TV. You kind of have to know that. Like my purple block logo IC, the original belt had croc backing, like a darkish brown, if not yet a bluish or a navy blue or black croc backing. Mine is just a plain black leather backing. Not accurate. But like the green, like I mentioned, the green European title, it had a green strap with a red croc backing in them. But then I think down the line it became just normal red leather backing. People would not know about that unless you you expertly visualize the belt. Then again, like going back to our question about designs, do some of them fit when if they switch from normal snaps to Velcro? Maybe not. It all just to me, I think it would depend on who's
I
wearing the belt, but as
would
well
fit
of the belt design.
better.
Like,
Like, because you're
would you
not
see
depending
it
on a certain snapping in a certain area. If the whole back is Velcro, it's not going to matter at that
Yeah,
point. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to worry about the in between the snaps. Like, it's the
and
whole thing.
and yeah, and as well, if you don't always put the camera on it to where you can see the Velcro, it won't bother much. Like I say, imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out with his smoking skull belt, except with the snaps, it's a Velcro belt. Well, that's what I
I
say.
think
Like it
the
depends
average
on the
person, I think the average fan, I don't think would notice. Now, a person who's a belt collector like yourself, you're going to be focused on that belt more than just the average fan would be. So I think
yeah,
someone like you might actually be able to tell the difference or take
yeah,
notice to what is different about that belt.
yeah. Kind of like what before, like I've seen like Stone Cold when he talked about the Broken Skull sessions with Sasha Banks, who's now Mercedes Monet. They talked one of the worst title designs for a Divas title, and they were saying it's a title that you only see on the girls. Like you wouldn't see Stone Cold wearing the title. Like she asked him, Would they see you with this title?" And he literally flat out said, "No." Even if it would have been a kick-ass butterfly. That's what he said. But I was like saying, like certain title designs as well, I think would fit the person or fit like the gender. And I don't think that's the type of thing most people like to say. Like as well, like your thoughts on title designs.
Well, it's a
Don't you
funny thing you
think certain
mentioned
title
the
designs
Divas
are better than others?
butterfly because I would have a problem. I don't have a problem, but the problem I see is if I look at the IWGP version 5, I can't help but see the butterfly design on their main title or the main plate of that title.
These
I
two.
can't help
Oh
but
my
see that.
god! Now you mention it. But that's probably why now they swapped out the version 5 and went back to like the version 2 or that for the current belt they use now. Because stop using the version 5. I mean, the version 5 did look kick ass, but then when you talk about using the butterfly title, oh my god!
And you now,
Like
yeah, you can't unsee it,
like
can
some
you?
people, yeah, like they say about the dome globe. Like one person look at this front part, you can't see but a face of a sloth. How the pattern is.
Now I can't unsee that. Thanks.
And yeah, but I'm saying like some people, I'd say to some, I think the design of the belt could also matter more if it could go for everyone, not just a specific person. Unless they do like a signature series, like how they did with Daniel Bryan and Stone Cold. It only fits those type of people. Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying like the butterfly title. If there was like a version like that of a belt, do you think the design of the belt matters more, or do you think it would? It depends on them wearing if it matters more to them. Like I
I think
say,
it's a
do you ever
combination
see like
where if you go with say Daniel Bryan, right? Now, personally,
yeah,
I hated that eco-friendly belt. I couldn't stand that belt, but it actually worked
yeah,
on him for some strange reason.
yeah, because he was like that caveman hippie look.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and some people actually still collected that belt, and I'm like, it's it's basically a wood shop project that is was being held on TV. I mean, and because they own personal belt, I get that, and it's something that no one's ever done before. But I'm thinking it's just a belt made out of a burlap sack and wood.
Maybe there's a reason why no one ever did that before. Maybe it should have never been done in the first place.
Yeah, it's just like that. Those, like I say, certain designs of belts that mostly anyone could wear, like the spinner belt. Nobody liked that at first because then again, it was only supposed to. It only fitted Cena. The only one that came close to having it fit them was Jeff Hardy, and then he only held it for a little while. Like I said, the spinner belt. Like imagine Undertaker holding the spinner title. It would not fit him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And that's probably why he didn't choose Cena at WrestleMania 23. I'm pretty sure he wanted to, but when he saw that belt, he was like, "Uh-uh."
I
Hell,
think
he
a
came close to
close
choosing
second for
Lashley.
some strange reason. I think the spinner belt, like I said, for some strange reason, a close second. I hate to say it, but CM Punk, when he won the belt from Cena, it kind of went with him a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit.
Yeah, I
I mean,
would agree with
don't get
that
me wrong, it'll always be John Cena's belt, but if there was a second place, I would give it to
because
Cena
they
or
both have
Cena,
that vibe of
CM Punk.
rebel. Because I think it was because they both have that vibe of rebel. That's what I feel like. Because Punk was like the rebel type of character, but as well
Yes.
Cena was too. When he brought that belt out, he had that vibe of rebel, like of thugonomics in that. That I was saying until Cena became that kid friendly hero type character. Yeah, I. But then again, that's what I said. Some titles, I think, if you make it to where it can look good on anyone, even a female, like the mixed tags. Now we see tags about that can fit for both male and female. But imagine like even the 24, but like the 24/7 title, like how that one was for male and females. Even though the design was not as good, but the belt, the way the belt was, if they had more time to design it, and you think it would always look great to anyone, whether male or female.
Hey, DM,
As
just
I
a
say,
heads
like,
up. I'm probably going to have to cut my end short. My phone is actually dying. I guess I should have charged it
oh
first.
yeah, well,
But I just wanted to
yeah, we've been
say
going on
thanks
for
for having
over
me on your
an hour
show.
now. Yeah. Before we go, how about one more question for this, guys? All right. Obviously, you're probably collecting belts. Any idea of what's your next belt added to your list? And maybe like a little hint, or do you would prefer to keep it, like hush hush, like you don't do spoilers like I do?
Well, technically, I know what your next belt's going to be, but I won't say nothing. That'll just that's your secret. But I kind of know what it is. Um,
Uh,
I won't
no.
say how.
Huh.
Once you reveal it, then I'll explain how I knew. All right. I won't say nothing.
Yeah.
Um, but if I
All
was
right.
to get another belt, I would I'd probably try to get the Pedro Morales belt personally. That's if I were to get one, probably
Yeah.
that one. Like I said, I wanted to get the older WWE WWF titles since
Yeah.
that was more my era of when I was a kid watching wrestling. So I would
Yeah.
probably concentrate on that, me personally.
All right. Yeah. As I say, if you also are looking for people that make belts that want to ship out to you, like I say, you can also hit up my good old friends like Hassan Belts. He does great quality work there. I got from him numerous times. There's Random Munib. He also does handout straps too for replicas. There's also Muhammad belts. I chat with Random Mushin. Like all these guys, they can do payment plans. They can do great quality. As long as you tell them what you want and tell them specifically if that stuff, you'll get it no problem. And also, like I say, make sure they send it through DHL. Do not do UPS, since they're out of the country. You worry about that import fee with DHL or normal mail. They won't have to worry about that, as far as I know right now. So U.S. Postal Service or DHL, they don't do import fees right now. UPS does. But anyway, I want to end the stream now. So thank you again, Pez, for being a part of this channel. I'm surprised, man, that we finally got you here. Check out his channel. He shows
Thanks
off
for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Check him out. He's got great quality videos of a great belt collection, as we've seen here. Shout outs to, as well, our good old buddy Iram. Shout outs to Brother Kane. Shout outs to Dex. And, of course, a good old friend of mine, Stephen Hammer. So, guys, check him out. And, as well, thank you, Holly the Wolf. Thank you, Pez, for being a part of this. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
So,
can I show you something?
oh, you're playing Pokemon Go, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Squirtle I have named as you.
Oh, you got a Squirtle. Yeah. Oh, you got a Squirtle, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
she
my
named
Squirtle
it
right
after
here,
you.
too. Oh, that's real. Oh, I feel honored. Oh, I'm gonna blush here at the end of this stream. Oh my God, that's wow. I'm real honored. Thanks a lot, Holly. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, thank you, Holly, and thanks again, Beth. So I'm gonna end the stream right here, guys. So thank you guys so much, and thank you for all the likes. Look like about 4 or 5 likes. Again, shout out to Pez, all those guys. If you're new to my channel, want to know all about, especially about my collection here, check out my main channel of all those videos. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Come on, guys, let's try to get me back to 900. Yeah, obviously you heard I reached 900, but then 3 people unsubscribed. Ain't that a doozy? So let's try to get back up to the 900 goal so we can start doing more big stuff like the 900 subscriber bell giveaway. And I know down and as well, don't forget to ring that notification bell so matches start with notifications for when I do live streams and other videos, which I'm hoping for one probably either on Monday, tomorrow, or Tuesday, depending on if I get my package in time. But yeah, as well. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, like on X at DMTombstone96, and as well on Instagram, DME96, where I may post up there if I post up here on YouTube. Thanks again, Pez. I'm DM Tombstone Belts, and for DM Tombstone Live, I'm signing off. See you guys next week. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks.